The Dictators are an influential proto-punk, punk, and hard rock band from New York. They were formed in 1972, and they continued until about 1980. Then they had another stint from 95 to 2008, and then they restarted in 2020 and are still going. They've had some member turnover, quite a bit actually. They were sometimes fronted by Handsome Dick Manitoba, who started as a roadie. They've released 6 studio albums. It's been a bit of a sporadic release schedule, including one of their albums was actually billed as Manitoba's Wild Kingdom. Hi, my name is Dan. So this was the first album by the Dictators, and it's my first encounter with them as a group, so I've not heard this album before, and I didn't know anything about them. This is hailed as proto-punk by both Acclaimed Music and by Wikipedia, and I can't see why you wouldn't actually just call it punk. So, time-wise, 1975, punk was starting to happen. Apparently, this is an influential record in terms of punk, and sound-wise, I would definitely say this is punk. So, why has it got proto on it? Oh, well, never mind. So it's fastish, it's simple, it's immediate, it's energetic, and importantly, it's irreverent. So it has this particular kind of irreverent sense of humour that went with a lot of what I think of as good punk. It's pretty well played. It's tight. It's not kind of loose and sloppy. It's got that kind of raw feel, but it's not absolutely kind of hardcore punk feel. And it's about where I like my punk. It's got skill to it. And it's got the energy. It's maybe not as energetic as some punk, and it's got the kind of sense of humour in the lyrics, which is it's probably what I really like in punk is when they get kind of tongue in cheek. There's 2 tracks here which are surf rock takeoffs, so kind of think the Beach Boys sort of stuff. So California Sun, which apparently, well, not apparently, is a cover of a Joe Jones song. And the last track, I think, on the album, I Live for Cars and Girls. Let me just double check that. Yes, that's what it's called. There's a track called Master Race Rock, which is satirical and fairly odd. It has been mildly controversial. So it definitely talks about things that could be connected to the ideas of Nazis. It probably needs to be thrown in at this point that the band are predominantly Jewish. And also Back to Africa apparently is somewhat controversial as well, although I didn't listen carefully enough to the words to pick out why that might be the case. It's got a cover of I Got You, Babe by Sonny and Cher, which is quite nice. Do I prefer the original? I'm not sure. It's okay, yeah. I didn't know what to expect when I first started listening to this. As I said, I was completely coming to it cold. When it first started playing, I was kind of, oh, right, okay, it's going to be one of these kind of things. But by the middle of the second track, I was won over. So I would say, yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. It's exuberant, it's fun, it's irreverent, but tongue-in-cheek, it's musical, it's immediate, and as I said before, it's my kind of punk. So, not a huge score because punk isn't my kind of home ground, as it were, but, I do like bits of it. This is one of the bits that I like. As always, I'd love to know what you think of this album. I think it's possible that there are particularly people in the US who consider this to be a very important album and are absolutely astounded that I've never come across it before. What you have to realise is that I grew up in the punk. I didn't grow up in the punk scene, but the punk that was happening around me in the late 70s, early 80s was mostly British punk. Anyway, that's what I think. I'd love to know what you think, so please do talk to me. And that's it from me for now.
Oh, well, I'm going out